It's on YouTube eventually, that's the plan.
Okay, all right, we are calling the Manhattan Community Board 9, same gender loving LGBTQ task force meeting to order at 6:41 on Thursday, September 26th, 2024. It's, it's Clayton Sanford, and I am John Martin Green. So I guess we don't have do we have a quorum? I guess we're in. So, so I can call the meeting to order. I'm calling the meeting to order. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Seconded, and we adopt the agenda. Do we have minutes?
Sorry, we don't. I still owe you minutes for May.
All
I
right.
believe we didn't meet in June. If that's right.
Did we, I think we did meet in, did we meet in June?
Did we?
We should look.
So I don't have.
You would have the notes if we did.
I don't think I have any notes for June.
So then
So
it's
I'm
likely
guessing
we
we did
didn't
not.
meet. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
We should confirm that one way or the other. But okay.
but I still owe you meeting notes for you.
Okay,
So, for May.
very good. And with respect to a public session, we know public.
Yeah.
So we can skip past that and resume our conversation about the creation of a same gender loving gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer West Harlem residents needs survey.
Yes.
Do you have your notes from our last meeting when we left off at that?
Yeah, let me pull those up.
Okay. I think where we left off, we were talking about methods of crafting the survey and.
Yeah, I think previously you sent me potential questions.
Okay, we got that far, did we?
Feedback.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we talked about how we wanted to. I think both understand, questions about like. I think there are questions in the form of like. What type of resources do you need? You know, what are your needs that are unmet? I think there are also questions about like. Asking for awareness about local organizations, like, you know, are you aware of the work of Harlem Pride? It's that forum, and I think there are also thoughts about like, you know, do you feel safe in the neighborhood? Or do you feel valued? You know, the questions that, like broader.
right,
Questions.
community resources. Right, yes. I'm beginning to remember, thank you. Of what community resources serving LGBTQ folk. Are you aware? Right? And well, here's something. I'm thinking I want to share this with you that I found about the differences between committees and task force, New York City Council committees and task forces. Main differences between community board committees and task forces are their responsibilities and the issues they address. Community board committees are responsible for researching issues, developing goals and planning activities for their district. They also conduct public hearings and present recommendations to the full board and can address any district issue. And they also provide input into the city's budget and uniform land use review procedure, task forces, by contrast, inform the public about government programs and proposals, help constituents resolve issues with city agencies, and advise on local land use proposals and city budget allocations.
Mhm.
And they also advise on local land, no, they also hold monthly meetings and public hearings to hear the voices of stakeholders. So, I mean, some of these things we've been doing, other things we've been doing are more in line with committees.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that. What do you think?
I think my read is I think I'd wanna ask, like, what are things that we are unable to do with our current designation that, if the question is like, should we consider asking about being a committee or something, it seems like, I guess I'm not too concerned about like the title, I'm
Right.
concerned about like what goes along with that.
The guidelines.
Like, we're having a hard time getting membership because we're a task force,
The rules of the road,
then perhaps it's worth,
worth
Raising that.
exploring being a committee, right, becoming a committee, yes, I agree. So we should note that. Um. And going back to the needs assessment, as it were, or the survey. Um. How many questions did we leave off at? Because I was talking for a while about, identifying someone to craft a survey. I don't think we need that.
yeah, I think the one reason why we'd want to consider, I think, having someone craft a survey would be I guess depending on our goals.
Tabulating the data.
Well, I can do that.
Okay.
That part's pretty easy.
Okay.
I think it's more like, if we're trying to draw some conclusions that are more like sound ways of writing questions. I doubt this changes that much, but, if you're giving a poll to the public, you generally don't want to like.
Open-ended
someone to
questions,
answering what-
or
in one way
closed
or the other.
questions. I'm sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
I guess I mostly meant that like, I don't think we want to be inadvertently pushing respondents towards giving certain answers.
Gotcha,
I think-
loaded questions.
Yeah, but I think if if we were planning on reporting our numbers out and getting this from a large number of people, it might be important, but
Mhm.
if we're viewing this as a more exploratory thing, if that's to help, us understand the data and what people are saying, maybe it's okay if we're not, hugely scientific with our questions. Like, I think we have good questions. That makes sense.
Yeah, the uses for the survey makes perfect sense. Are being clear about how we want to use the survey. And what I'm thinking, in determining to do a survey, I think what we had been considering was understanding such voids as exist on the landscape of our lives and with respect to the quality of life for our community,
Yeah.
right? So like what, for instance, what services do other segments of the community experience that perhaps we don't, as a function of our marginalization?
Right. Or vice versa, what are issues that maybe like LGBT youth are struggling with that the two of us are less in touch with?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Right, what programs are needed that are specific to our needs and our youth's needs and our elders' needs?
Yeah.
That don't exist. Right. So that's how we're thinking we want to use the data, yeah?
I think so.
Okay, okay.
Um,
And with that, by that, and for that, So you think we should identify somebody who is a professional survey?
I think
We have
there's,
access to them.
we do, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there are a couple of considerations for me. I think one consideration is. One thing I'm wondering about is like, is there some regulatory concern? Like, for instance, at our capacity as a community board, we are in some sense a government entity. Like, is it a problem if we put out a survey, and, maybe use like the kiosks or something for it that asks about protected information like, sexual orientation? Like, I would assume that wouldn't be an issue, but it's possible that, there could be some legal matter. Maybe that's something we can just talk to you about. That might not be something we have to, work with something in school, so we work about. I think the other thing would be like if we're concerned with questions or crafting or not, if we get the feedback that we want. But I think the more we think about it, the less I'm worried about that. I think the two.
Right, well, actually, the answer to that question, may be a good rationale for, you're pressing us to get a professional survey crafter, because that might ensure that we get the kinds of data that we're looking for from the target, demographic. From our target audience. Because they'll know how to frame the questions in such ways as inspire engagement, response, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right, also in terms of the rules of the road, as a task force, what are we legally what kinds of information are we able to poll people
Yeah.
for? Yeah.
And that's something I have no idea about.
Okay.
I think we should probably. I think we could probably just add.
She will know, if anyone knows, or between them, she and Victor,
Yeah.
and she, Victor, and Barry.
If we keep asking people, some of them.
All right, and, I guess, this will be up to whoever it is we identify. How do we want to go about identifying somebody? Do you have people with whom in your cohort? Cause I think I reached out to one or two people from my cohort from several years ago and didn't get responses, but who do surveys among their data collection methods?
I don't know many people who do surveys. I know people who work with, whose research has human involvement and, they have people who test their tools or code or whatever. And there's like heavily regulated ways in which they do that. But I'm not sure if that would be like the type of assistance we're necessarily.
No, this
It's
is,
like survey graph.
right. Yeah. Okay, I will, reach out to, Dr. Franklin. And to Chad Franklin, with whom we've engaged, and maybe somebody at Goddard Options Center. Yeah.
That sounds good. I think also I think we should definitely ask for the legal concerns, but I think if we don't find someone to assist on the survey crafting front in the next, before next meeting, I think we should probably just move ahead. So that we don't let the perfect be the good.
I concur. And, so I did an event, the gatekeepers did an event down at the forum, weekend before last. Which went exceedingly well. For our new banners.
Oh, I think I saw some notice of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking about that? It just left me, sorry. It'll
Was
come
it
back.
about the engagement, like this next item on the agenda? Or is it still on the survey?
No, I was still thinking about the survey, but there's a connection that has eluded me, so if it comes back. If it hasn't, yeah. Probably be the enemy of the good, oh, well, all right, yeah. Oh, that's what I was thinking about. The length of the survey.
Yeah.
Yes, so we did a survey.
Oh.
Everybody who attended, and we had a handsome showing. Raved about the event. And, but only one person responded to our survey. And so I asked, Richard Pelzer, who you've met, to release the survey again. And I told him that I thought among the reasons we didn't get more responses, because uniformly, everybody, all the board members reported back at our last board meeting, earlier this week, that people were raving and asking, what are you doing next? And how can we participate? Those are the kinds of responses you want.
Yeah.
It occurred to me that among the reasons why people mightn't have responded, particularly those who were enthused for having participated, had the opportunity to participate, include that we're bombarded by surveys now.
Yeah.
Things that we haven't even participated in. People are surveying us. You know, I mean, online, scarcely a day goes by when you're not being polled or surveyed about something. That's one thing. And the other may have to do with how long the survey is, whether a survey is 30 seconds or 10 minutes, people are not likely to want to do a 10 or 12-minute survey.
Yeah.
So I say all of that to say, we'll probably want to do maybe just a handful of questions.
Yeah, I think my outlook when I would, write surveys or try to get evaluations for people in grad school and otherwise was that I would try to have an option where an option for very little work and an option to really put in your feedback if you have it. So in general, there would be like the start of the survey would just be like simple multiple choice questions. So you can just like click through that. And then at the end, there might be some option blocks that would say something like, if you have other things to like share with us, or like
Yes.
one or two like open-ended questions that
Right.
the people who really care can respond to, but you don't require anyone to fill out that box. So that way, people who don't want to write an essay can just, do check, submit, done.
Those are the smartest surveys. I agree with you, and thank you for that. We'll tell our survey crafter, will instruct her or him along those lines.
Yeah, I think one thing also maybe that's worth thinking about is like, maybe if the goal is to gauge community needs, there may also be other ways in which we should do this besides surveying, maybe like this. Maybe there are I mean, it's a shame that, I feel like, it's a shame that like Pride isn't coming up right now, for instance, because like there might be ways to like go to more events or like directly canvas with people or like have a table with our community on it, and like, you know, you wouldn't get out the same type of quantitative feedback, but you might be able to get a wider range of testimonials from community groups. Or showing up to organizations that already exist and like having small group meetings or kind of focus groups if you might.
Focus groups are good.
Yeah.
The way, well, something that we were about to do just as COVID hit, in fact, I think we'd already booked a venue, was a town hall,
Yeah,
you know. Town hall, community forum. The community forums are typically around an issue, whereas town halls is to or to gauge the community about issues. So I mean, that's something I suppose, but that's not something I would want us to attempt to do, just the two of us.
yeah,
That can be a heavy lift for a team.
yeah.
So, but yeah,
But perhaps, you know, with some of the partners, some of these meetings, or also with the buy-in of an elected official or two, you know, that wouldn't be such a hard, you know, if we want to do a task force, that may not be, or sorry, a town hall, that may not be such a big lift, but yeah, I agree with you, that
okay.
two person dog.
So those are things, those are other, right, because you're right. Survey isn't the only method or means of gathering information about needs, communities' needs. Okay, so here we go to the next needs. Yeah, more needs. I need. So it's district needs statement time.
It is.
In years past, among needs that the task force have proposed for inclusion in the CB9's district needs statement, have included expense items like safety and policing, having to do with transgender, family members experiencing hostility, including misgendering by the police. The last one of those that I helped craft had to do with, I proposed a call for educational funding for cultural sensitivity and cultural humility, around training of NYPD, about trans and gender nonconforming communities to be conducted by professional development trainings conducted by teams including trans people of trans experience. Housing, we talked about.
Well, in the past, there's a specific, like, there's like the Honda Act.
Right.
Is
That was the last,
that still?
well, that's up to us,
Okay.
because it was we, beginning with Barry, who came up with the idea about leveraging the Housing Our Neighbors with Dignity Act.
Yeah.
To get, the last one was the Ellington Hotel.
Yeah.
On, I think 111th Street. To repurpose, working with a CBO to acquire and repurpose it as supportive housing for same gender living LGBTQ youth and elders.
Yeah.
And seniors.
Well, this, yeah,
What do you think?
oh, sorry, so I don't, is the Ellington still?
I don't know if it's still in play, because, you know, during COVID, where it had been sitting dormant, it was, oh, no, even beyond COVID, in the face of the migrant crisis.
Right.
You know, it was repurposed as temporary housing. So we could research, you know, over the next few days to see if. Yeah,
Yeah, perhaps another thing which we could. We'll see if this has any progress on the housing committee front. But one of the things I was thinking about making the case for is the borough president has this report on like government-owned sites that would be appropriate for building more housing at, or for building like 100% affordable housing at, and like they include like the bus depot over there, and there's another site further uptown, which is quite a bit smaller. But one of the things which like the main contingent, I mean, there are a few things that have to happen there, but one of the major things would be like funding from HPD in order to construct 100% affordable housing, because that would require funding. And like I was thinking of like asking if that could be one of the asks on the housing committee front, and possibly like if something like that were happening, we could then possibly say,
or in partnership with the task force.
yeah. We could say like, we'd like some of that to be set aside for those people.
So the housing committee is planning that kind of ask?
No, the housing committee is not planning that.
Oh.
I'm planning.
You're saying
that.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm on that committee now.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, how's it going?
So far, so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
I'm no longer an economic development board. So,
got you. All right.
but possibly, there will be like other affordable housing asks that we could collaborate with that committee.
Committee on, well, no, that's a great idea. That's, that's ingenious. But now, I think you mentioned that there was was it the governor?
Borough president.
Borough president, oh,
Yeah.
it's Mark Levine, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, in fact, he's a champion for an affordable housing champion, yeah.
Right. That's what I was kind of thinking. It's like, take sites where there's some, if elected officials have already identified here are good places for affordable housing, we can provide our enough support to that.
Provide what kind of support?
Some kind of support from the community.
Yes.
Like, this is the type of housing we're looking for, and specifically we're looking for housing that serves these communities.
Wonderful. He's looking to identify, structures that can be repurposed as
Effectively,
affordable
like,
housing, or properties, land on which affordable housing might be built.
land on which it could be built.
Okay.
It's a longer term thing. I guess some things could be repurposed, but the bus depot would not.
Right.
Be repurposed. I think the idea is that it's mostly underutilized city of land. So that's one thought. I guess another question, I think we talked about this a bit before. There is some work on, there was an ask for getting community space for an elderly center, right? I believe, but was it by Harlem Pride?
Say it again? It was an ask.
In the spring, wasn't there some like asking for Harlem Pride to have some community space in CD9? Or something of that? I thought there was something that was under discussion.
There may have been, well, so Carmen Neely, who participates as a public member of the task force, and I are working to bring a same gender living LGBTQ center.
Yeah.
To Central Harlem.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Around which Governor Hochul gave us $4.4 million during Pride. Which we since realized isn't nearly enough. But maybe that's what you're thinking about?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
if it's in central Harlem, it's probably harder for us to make.
the,
Because I
yeah,
assume that would not be in MCB9.
right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, but here's something, that, just a few weeks ago, I participated in, Governor Hochul's, LGBTQ plus convening. As part of, what is it? Unhoused youth, LGBTQ youth panel. One of the asks that, Gatekeepers Collective, Goddard Riverside Options Center, and Degrees NYC put together, included, funding the creation and delivery of a 15-hour culturally sensitive educational curricula that recognize the historical and cultural contributions of BIPOC SGL-LBGTQ communities for grades 4 through 12 that can be delivered in school or in after-school programs. And yeah, that
I think that'd be good. So this was
among expenses.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this was an ask that was made, also, like, is this like publicly available somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, because it might also be easier if you could just say like, you know.
Well, I mean, we presented it at this conference and, state officials were at the conference. So, you know, this was particularly to the New York State Department of Education, the New York State Department of Mental Health, and, Office of Children and Family Services. This was an ask directed at those agencies. But that's, yeah. Wonder if any of these other policy shifts might be appropriate. Well, that's the only one I did. Economic development, what is it? Entrepreneurs often face barriers to business expansion, locating space, professional networks, and access to capital. The Economic Development Corporation, which is a state agency, in conjunction with Department of Small Business Services, should create a program for outreach to LGBTQ, same gender loving LGBTQ communities or entrepreneurs and small business owners to connect them with existing program and capital opportunities.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, then there was the capital investments we already talked about on the, maybe.
So would it make sense to? So I know we sort of shelved this as a much longer term project than the task force has been to at this time. But would it make sense to say something about the Audrey Lorde Memorial? That like at some point in the future, you know, there's like an allocation of funding to
Sure.
look into.
Sure. Because we, among other things, when John Reddick talked to us about, he told us about how they had put the committee together to build the Ellison Monument, Ellison Memorial. Which Elizabeth Catlett, is the statue, yeah. I think that among the kinds of outreach that they had to do, included engaging the board and city council resources. So, sure. Yeah,
So do you know what the timeline is like for this? Like, when do we need to submit a list of that?
yeah, it's, if I recall correctly, it's over the next month. I think by the end of October, but we'll confirm with, Utah.
So we will probably, I think last year was on Halloween.
Yeah,
I remember that.
right,
So we'll have another meeting before now and then, so we don't have to make decisions today.
right.
But I suppose by next time we should both,
We should have crafted, if we want to submit asks as part of the CB9 district needs statement.
Yeah.
We should have crafted whatever those asks will be.
so if we draft them all before next meeting, and at some point the two of us can maybe.
Right, there you go.
And then at the next meeting, we can take any feedback from the public.
There you go.
And edit them, and
Yes, I concur. That's a great plan.
Okay.
Okay, next up is, what are we gonna do?
what are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do? So, where we have left off in terms of our community engagement and education calendar, was our film screenings.
Yes.
And what else? We did the Audrey Lloyd, celebration of her literary legacy. That was a hit.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if you saw the biography by Anna Pauline Young. We weren't able to get her to come, but like,
Right.
Looks like the biography's out.
Ah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, I might continue learning how to read and.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, so I think I apologize, 'cause I think the hope was originally to have a movie night start sooner in the fall. And I think I was originally supposed to look into getting us some sites at Forum, and
Oh, okay, well, it's just you and me.
it's just us. Yeah.
So, yeah, so we are where we are. No need for apologies. We're picking up where we left off.
Yeah. So I think,
We're dealing with our respective and collective capacity,
yeah,
the two of us. So, no, yeah, we're good. We're good.
so I think it would be nice to do a movie night of some kind.
I agree.
That's
something that we can do, which we are very clear at this juncture, if we do with adequate planning time, we can do well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not too hard to lift.
No.
You can do.
No. Particularly if we employ the audience development strategies that we used for the Audrey Lorde celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
In which case, what? When would we want to do our? So, October is upon us.
yeah. And it sounds like we also have plenty of other work to do in October with,
Yes. So do we want to do it before Thanksgiving, before the holidays, or I mean, actually, when we did it, the first one that we did, this team of us did, when we still had Michael. And Amir, right, right. How is he?
He's well. I went to his baby's birthday party like last month.
The baby's a year old
Baby's a
already.
year old.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Okay,
But yeah, he's doing great.
that's lovely. We did it on, I think, November 30th. We did it like the week after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we should decide when best to do it.
I know that this year at least I will be away that week.
Okay,
But the show can go on without me, or we could have it.
it's just you and me, kid. I don't want to do anything without you.
Yeah. So I could do the week before Thanksgiving if we were to plan that. Then I could
Okay.
also do
I probably could too.
the third week of December, but that might be cutting it close to the holidays.
So the week before Thanksgiving is November 21st.
Yeah.
You wanna go for it? That gives us enough time.
Yeah.
And if we pick a sexy film,
Mhm.
one that has, like really, I don't know, provocative, but not just for the sake of being provocative, but around a salient issue or set of issues, maybe. Actually, I went to a film screening last night
Yeah.
for a new film by Jussie Smollett. Do you know who he is?
Only for the thing you got in trouble for a few years ago,
Okay,
unfortunately. But I know he contains multitudes beyond that. So
you know, say that?
I know he's not just that. So
Right, well, I'm rather proud of him. He has just written and directed a new film. Yeah, but that's coming out next week. So we probably wouldn't want to do that, even if we could access it. It's called The Lost Holiday. But we already came up with a slate of films, respective films, right?
yeah, and our notes from last year,
Yeah.
we loved it.
Right. Okay, so we'll pick one of those.
Maybe we can plan on choosing that at the October meeting, and then
Say again,
maybe we can plan on choosing the film at the October meeting with that.
but then that puts us right up again in terms of time.
Oh, right, I suppose we'd want to have
We wanna have,
the marketing materials out by that
we
point.
wanna have the mark, at least, right,
Okay,
ready to go.
well, maybe let's see if we can pick a film tonight,
Okay,
and then reach out to, we'd have to see if we want.
we have to book, right, we have to book the
Yeah.
space next week.
Yeah,
Alright. Alright, okay, so what film? Oh, shoot, I should have brought,
I'll,
oh, you have the notes.
Yeah.
Right, you have the notes.
um,
I know, The Wound was one. Scotty and the Secret History of Hollywood was the one that we,
we saw.
yeah. Pariah was one, I think.
find it.
Was it April or May?
No, it's the fall, it was September. Oh, I think it was, oh wait, that's this year. Never mind. That's today.
Oh, right, it would have been earlier.
Yeah,
It would have been before the screening, so it would have been last year this time.
yeah.
Right, okay.
It's funny, did you know you can't, if you're on CB Wi-Fi, you can go on the website,
If you're on CB Wi-Fi, you can't go on the website.
on their website. You can go anywhere else on the internet, but you can't go to their website. I think it's something weird with how their server's set up
That's a quirk.
or something. So it means I'm trying to look up the note, because I can't find the version on my.
Ah, okay,
I'm
gotcha,
trying to find it on the website.
okay.
And I'm not seeing them.
The wound. Hmm. Got a big turnout for I Am Not Your Negro a few years back, but that was pre-COVID. Oh, what's the
Okay,
one?
I found the link.
Okay, yeah, the one about the bookstore. Okay, what's the list?
So I see Tongues United, Pariah,
Tongues Untied.
sorry, my brain mixes up letters sometimes.
That's okay.
Pariah, Daughters of the Dusk, Rafiki, A Litany for Survival, The Life and Work of Audre Lorde, The Celluloid Closet, The Wound,
Oh, wait. Tongues Untied. What was the one before the wound?
The Celluloid Closet.
Would anybody want to see that?
I don't know anything about it.
It's a film about gays in film, the history of gays in film, or gay representation in film, and not really gay representation, but the way gays have or homosexuality has been represented in the history of film.
I see. I think that would be interesting. I think the one thing that makes me positive is that because we did last year, we did something focused on like Hollywood and.
Right. Okay, well, that's my fixation.
Yeah. I'm okay with it.
No, I'm open, I'm wide open.
Yeah,
The Wound is on Netflix,
okay.
so, I mean, should we do something that people have access to from their homes? Is a question.
People have different,
Will people come out for something that they can?
some people Hulu instead,
Say again?
some people Hulu, not Netflix. I mean, I think it's also, I think it's also okay if we pick something that, a lot of people see, like, I don't think it necessarily has to be that for everyone.
Okay,
I think what, I was looking at something I was suggesting, which were like Paris is Burning and Moonlight, which, people are more likely to have seen, but maybe that's also fine.
have you seen Paris is Burning?
I haven't seen Paris is Burning, I would like to see that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, have you seen Moonlight?
I have seen Moonlight.
What did you think?
I really liked it. I think it was like a very powerful portrait of, of this person, multiple phases of his life, and I think it, was very, very well made and very compelling.
I predicted it would be the first African-American film to win the best picture Oscar.
You were right.
And I predicted that before Oscar nominations ever came out.
Yeah.
I predicted when I saw it first time, and then I took people to see it multiple times thereafter. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Paris is Burning?
That sounds good to me.
Okay. And maybe we can invite some Ball community folk
Oh, yeah.
to come and share with us. You know, it's, oh my God. When was Paris is burning? Siri, when was Paris is burning? Yeah, I thought this is over 30 years ago. It's almost 35 years. It's 1990. Oh, yeah. Yes, invite some Ball community folk to come and reflect
Yeah, that would be incredible.
on that experience. You know, old and new. In fact, is the Ball community still a thing?
Sure. Imagine it is.
I
I imagine at least that some of the people who were part of it are still here and around.
in fact, yeah, one of them, God bless him. Yeah, Lee Soldier, I had worked with until very recently. Okay. So we've got a date, November 21st, we've got a film. Will you reach out, put in the application, or should I? For the foyer at the forum?
I tried multiple times to look at the application before, and I couldn't access it. Like, it would say it's only available, open on like the first Monday of the month, or,
It's the first week, I thought, of the month.
okay,
I just get afraid that they're gonna get tired of me keep continually asking for spaces.
yeah, I could,
Well, you attempt to do it, and if you can't, let me know, and I'll do it.
that sounds good. I'm just trying to find the portal really quick, just so I make sure I'm at the right place.
It's the WHDC,
Oh, it's through WHDC.
yes. And do we want the foyer again? That was the venue we used last time, the foyer at the forum.
Yeah, I think that would,
It worked.
I think it worked. I think it was big, given the crowd that we had.
Well, it was big because we had no crowd.
Yeah. So I think that. I feel like it's the tricky thing where if we request a smaller space, we'll probably be blessed by a bigger crowd.
Well, yeah, you see what happened when we did Audrey Lorde? I
Yeah,
mean, it was standing room only,
right.
you know, in fact, by the end, there were people outside the door.
Yeah. I think, yeah, let's ask for the same space.
Okay. Okay. And again, if you have any difficulty, just, text me or
Yeah.
call me to say, do this. Okay. All right then. With respect to new business. Or old business, is there any old business?
Nothing that I know of right now.
I think we've addressed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and new business would be, I think, your excellent ideas for canvassing, prospective task force members.
Yeah.
So how best to go about that?
I think.
At the next general board meeting, I have no compunctions about saying, you don't have to be a homo to be on the task force.
Yeah.
Okay? Come out and play.
We've had allies.
Wonderful out. Yeah. So that's one. What was the other way that you proposed that we might?
I was just thinking we might send out an email.
An email.
But I would think we first present and then send the email.
Okay,
Because then that way you plant the idea and then
right,
remind them.
okay. So we'll make a pitch at the next board meeting. And follow that up with an email. Okay.
And maybe also you could, if you could run it by Victor ahead of time, maybe just make
Of
sure.
course. The people are not startled,
Yeah, that it's, you know, that.
that
that's
it's
okay.
kosher to do that.
Yeah.
Right, that we have, yeah, that it's de rigueur.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me write down, I will ask Victor for permission. I embarrassed him.
Oh, no.
And I did it on purpose. So at the banners unveiling event, I asked him to come, you know, and speak to the importance of the initiative. And as I was introducing him, I told him, I said, I had a crush on Victor when we were in kindergarten. People burst out laughing and he blushed.
Oh, you did? Wow.
I was telling him the truth. I did have a crush on him.
He's also 9 years.
No, 93 and a half. He looked good, didn't
Yeah.
he? He recovered nicely though. When he got to the mic, after standing there grimacing at me for a moment, he said, you had good taste even then. I said, always. All right, are we well met?
I think so.
Yeah. Is there a motion for an adjournment?
So,
Seconded. We adjourn at
7:38.
at 7:38 PM.